Hello class, we are going to start today's literacy lesson with reviewing some of our phonograms. So sitting up nice and straight, eyes on the cards. Good, A, four-letter A. Good, ew. Good, O the O of toe. Right, aw, that we do use at the end of English words. This is right, ow, o. Good, v. The of early. Good, g, two-letter g, always followed by a vowel. Good, u, u, u. And good, j, three-letter j. All right, so if you weren't sure, we'll go through them one more time. All right, nice job. All right, for today's words, we're going to review any two-letter phonograms that we might need in them first. So get out your practice paper and pencil. Your first phonogram is ch, three-letter ch. So write that and say it while you write it. Remember, if you need to pause the video at any point, because I'm going a little quickly, please go ahead and do that. All right, this is our ch, three-letter ch. All right, the next one is sh, used at the beginning of a word or the end of a syllable, but never the beginning of a syllable after the first one, except for the ending ship. All right, this is our sh, used at the beginning of a word or the end of a syllable, but never the beginning of a syllable after the first one, except for the ending ship. All right, our next one is ed, d, t. Go ahead and write that and say it while you write it. All right, this is our ed, d, t. All right, and the next one is n, not n, n. Go ahead and write that, say it while you write it. All right, this is our n. All right, and let's do one challenge one. Do n, two-letter n, used only at the beginning of a base word. We haven't done that one in a while. This is n, two-letter n, used only at the beginning of a base word. That one's not in our words today, but we want to make sure we don't forget those. Today we're going to be reviewing some words that we already learned, and then we'll be talking about putting endings on these words. All right, our first word is hatch. The chick will hatch out of the egg, hatch. What sounds do we hear in hatch? Good, and we're going to use ch, three-letter ch. So write ch, or write hatch and say the sounds while you write them. All right, since we're reviewing these, I will write it up and mark it, and you can check your work. Which ch do we use in hatch? Good, ch, three-letter ch. Used after a single vowel. I forgot that part earlier. Used after a single vowel that says or Okay, make sure your hatch looks like mine. The next word is finish. Finish. How many syllables in finish? Please finish your work quickly. There are 2 syllables. And what sounds are we going to write to spell finish? Good, that's the first syllable. And the second one? Good, and we're going to use at the beginning of a word or the end of a syllable, but never the beginning of a syllable after the first one, except for the ending ship. So write finish and say the sounds while you write them. And since this is review, you can go ahead and mark your words as well after you finish writing it. All right, and then of course we'll underline our sh used at the beginning of a word or the end of a syllable, but never the beginning of a syllable after the first one except for the ending ship. All right, our next word is push. What are we going to write to spell push? Good, and our O is U-U-O. And of course our sh is going to be sh. Used at the beginning of a word or the end of a syllable, but never the beginning of a syllable after the first one, except for the ending ship. All right, so write push and say the sounds while you write them. All right, class, tell me what I need to write to spell push. All right, let's go ahead and mark it. How are we going to mark this? Good, it's saying its 4th sound, so we're going to put a little 4 on top of it. And how about this? Good, we'll underline that. All right, our next word is pull. What are we going to write to spell pull? Did you remember your floss rule? That's right, we often double F, L, or S after a single vowel at the end of a 1-syllable word. So in pull, we're going to double our O, and our O is U-U-O, again in pull. So go ahead and write pull and say the sounds while you write them. All right, class, what do I need to write to spell pull? All right, and we use U-U-O for our O. Don't forget your floss rule. Good. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and mark our U-U-O because it's saying, once again, its 4th sound. All right, our last word that we're going to review is the word dump. What sounds do we hear in the word dump? Good. Go ahead and write dump. Say the sounds while you write them, and then mark your word. All right, class, what do I need to write to spell dump? All right, now do I need to mark anything in dump? Nope, it's basic code, so we're just going to leave it the way it is. All right, class, now all of these words that we have reviewed are the same part of speech. I want you to look at the words and tell me what part of speech they are. Hatch, finish, push, pull, and dump. What parts of speech are those? Good. They are all nouns. Or sorry, no, they are all verbs. Oh my goodness. All right, sorry, I got a little disoriented there. But all of these words are verbs. Sorry, these are all things that you can do. So these are all the present or future tense of our verbs. What we're going to practice is putting our words in past tense. All right, so these are all regular verbs. That means to put these words in the past tense, what are we going to use at the end? Good, we're going to use our ed, d, t, which is our past tense ending for regular verbs. So the only thing that we need to figure out is if edit gets its own syllable. Remember, if it's saying its first sound ed, it gets its own syllable. If it's not, then it does not get its own syllable. All right, so let's try hatch, hatched, making it past tense hatched. All right, it's still one syllable, so all we need to do is add that edit past tense ending. All right, so I want you to write hatched, and then you can check and see if you did it correctly. All right, class, what do I need to write to spell hatched? Good, we're still using our ch, three-letter ch. All right, so your hatched should look like mine. We'll go ahead and mark it. No, no. Yes, we need to underline our ch, three-letter ch. And then the word is hatched, hatched. So we need to underline our edit. Which of its sounds is it saying? Good, it's saying its third sound. So we're gonna put a little 3 right on top. And we just made hatched past tense since it's regular. All we had to do was add our edit past tense ending. And remember, we do need to figure out if it gets its own syllable. If it's saying its first sound, then it adds a syllable. If not, then it doesn't. So let's do finish. The past tense of finish is finished, finished. All right, it's still 2 syllables. So we're just gonna add on that edit past tense ending. So go ahead and do that. All right, class, what do I need to write to spell finished? Go ahead and tell me. All right, very good. Again, it's regular, so all we do is add on that edit. We just have to figure out if it gets its own syllable, and then we just add it on. All right, so of course we're gonna mark this, like in our base word. We're gonna mark this finished. Which number am I gonna put on top of this? Finished. Good, it's saying its third sound again, it's saying t, so it's gonna get a 3. All right, we'll do push together, and then you can do pull and dump on your own, making them past tense. All right, push, pushed, pushed. No, it's not adding a syllable. So all we need to do is stick that edit onto our base word and mark it. So go ahead and add that edit, rewrite. So write pushed, and then we'll mark it. All right, make sure you're pausing the video, not just waiting for me and copying, because you're not going to learn that way. All right, so it didn't get its own syllable. We just added that ending there. And now we just need to mark it. So Our base word markings are the same. We'll underline this pushed, saying its third sound again. All right, so your job for the rest of the lesson is to add your edit to pull and dump so that you have all of the words we reviewed written in the past tense with the markings. So you got to see if our edit is making its first sound and getting its own syllable or not. And if it's not saying its first sound, then you've got to figure out if it's saying its second or third sound and go ahead and put that on top of your edit for pull and dump. All right, and that is it for today. I will see you tomorrow. Goodbye.